Hello and welcome to episode number 60 of the Nintendo Jump Podcast. We are a weekly discussion podcast created for Nintendo gamers by Nintendo gamers. It is the week of August 12th and this year is flying by. My name is Darrel, and today I am once again joined by Sergio. How are you, man?
I am doing rather well. I hope you are too. You know, for the earlier part of this week, I really wasn't gaming as much. I mean, besides Rocket League, but I guess at some point I question, am I listening to music with Rocket League on the side or the other way around? No, but happy to say I'm back. I'm playing a little bit of Fire Emblem again, just focusing on side quests, but it's fun. How are you doing, Daryl?
I am doing okay. I am almost at the end of my route of Fire Emblem. I'm right
Oh.
there, so at least I think I am. So yeah, it has certainly been a ride. No spoilers today. That'll definitely come, but man, this game is good. But also today joining us is of course Kevin. How are you, man?
I'm doing very well, because I have my Orgain protein powder mix drink. It's that time. I've been doing this quite a bit for the past, I'd say, a few weeks. In terms of upping my protein. I love Orgain protein powder. Shameless plug. It is the best protein powder. I would highly recommend it. 100% plant based. It provides a lot of nutrients, a lot of superfoods. Very good. It has nothing to do with gaming, but I love it.
Nintendo Jump Podcast sponsored
by
Orgain.
Yeah, but no,
that is not true at all. That's not. No, we're not.
We're not.
We're just very enthusiastic about stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, back to reality. I am doing well with Fire Emblem. Most of it. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we have a few updates, I think, later in the show.
Yeah.
So
Oof.
oh,
I
it's
know.
time.
Oh.
It is time. Ugh. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before then, Kevin, what are we talking about?
We're gonna talk about the Switch V2. At least one of us got it, and that person, as in Darrel, will give us his spiel on Switch V2. We're gonna answer some listener mail.
Yeah. So I did say we would do another one pretty shortly. Hey, here we are. Turns out we had way too much listener mail, so we're just gonna get on that and kind of knock out some more. If you do have listener mail questions that you want to send to us, hopefully after this show we're gonna be fairly empty on them. So please send in your questions, and we'll try to hit them in a future episode. So.
Yeah, and we have a Fire Emblem update, which we will get to later this episode. It may be good, it may be bad.
It will definitely be bad.
All right. Yeah, so with that being said, we're going to get to the Switch V2. So, Darrel, I understand that you bought the Switch V2. You did some things to get it. I'm sure you've enjoyed it since then. I know, because I can feel it from 3,000 miles away.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay.
So anyways, listener mail? No, I'm good. Yeah, I mentioned it on the last show. I actually did pick it up through GameStop, which, like I said, we all have kind of a spotty history with GameStop. From time to time, they do really good deals, and this was one that I kind of viewed as a really good deal. They offered $200 cash for any Switch trade-in. Honestly, I'm not really sure why they did that, but that actually beat the price that I could sell the thing for on like Amazon or eBay or something. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I went through with the full trade. I got the new Switch, the V2 in the red box, and brought it home, did the transfer, made sure I had all my games downloaded, everything was good to go. Then I packed up my old Switch, took it over, and they handed me $200 cash, which dang, I can't beat that. So what it basically ended up with, just over $100 for an upgrade, and we kind of talked about the V2 as we've been calling it, the version 2 Switch, that what it might be, what we knew about it. So what we absolutely know about it is it was a processor change. So it's a new processor, puts less load on the battery to maintain the same performance. Hence, it gets about 2 hours more battery life. But you also have these nice little side effects, like the whole system runs cooler, which in theory extends the durability of the system over time. And a couple surprises, including the screen itself. For portable mode, the screen is better. So the screen is brighter and warmer colored, which is more realistic. So to actual true color, it looks better. So when I was doing the transfer and setting up the two switches, I did notice it. Like it is noticeable that this screen looks better, and I was like, huh, okay. I didn't know if that was a difference between like an old model, a Switch that I'd had for a year or two. This was not my original Switch. This was one I picked up a little bit later on. But I didn't know if it was a difference over time. Maybe the screen degrades over time or whatever. But then some reports actually came out taking a brand new old version Switch and a brand new version Switch, and no, the screen is just better. So that is a very, very nice surprise. From what I've been able to tell, the battery life estimations from Nintendo are actually very accurate. Like I'm getting in the realm of 3 to 5 hours. Really solidly and generally more than that. So the system, I've been super happy with it. The other thing I want to kind of touch on is, so I speculated before the system came out that this would be the best way to get the most recent hardware, the best versions of whatever hardware there is, the Joy-Cons, maybe some internals, some differences in the Wi-Fi chips or whatever. A couple weird things that have come out and need a lot more testing that I haven't seen since then. Were some initial tests were showing that the version 2 can download things faster, which is interesting. It doesn't actually load games faster. The loading times are about the same, almost identical, but download speeds were a little bit better, which leads me to wonder, is it a Wi-Fi chip upgrade, or is there some like interference thing from the old processor that's changed? Whatever, it's nice and points to some good things. I have played it online, don't really notice any real difference. Like I'm not getting more lag. I'm not really getting less lag for that. I can tell. It's kind of hard to really tell that, but I've had a good experience playing online, which is nice, in handheld and tabletop on Rocket League and Smash Brothers and so on. So I'm happy with it, to be honest. I'm really happy with the deal I got. I'm happy to have the newest model of Switch. There's some indications that the Joy-Cons are a new model too, so it's cool. I'll keep you guys updated if I start having any issues with it, but for now, I would definitely recommend it. It definitely feels like a slightly better put together Switch, which is exactly with a significantly better battery life, which is exactly what I wanted the thing to be from the get-go. So I'm super happy, to be honest.
Nice. And obviously there's that one thing about the drifting on Joy-Cons. Have you noticed that as of late, or just no problem so far with that?
So here's the scoop on drifting on Joy-Cons. There's a lot of speculation about what's causing it. Nobody truly knows what's causing it, and it kind of goes back and forth. There's some indication that some of the internal pads are kind of wearing, creating some dust that gets on the contacts and starts creating these issues. There's some other evidence of other things that may be unrelated or related. I don't know. The one thing that's mostly constant with it is it does occur over time. If it's going to occur at all, so I'm not going to have any idea for now. But for now, the Joy-Cons feel and play really nice. Like they're really, really snappy. The control sticks are tight, and I'm happy with them right now. And like I said, somebody took the Joy-Cons apart from the old version Switch and the new version Switch, and saw actually some changes in the internals. Don't know if that means anything. Another person did replicate the wear pattern on the new version Switch, so maybe not, but who knows? We're gonna find out over time. And for the meantime, I traded in some Joy-Cons from my original system and got some new ones. So
Yeah.
Nice.
there you go. It's an upgrade all around.
Yeah, and it's very tempting, honestly. So many little revisions, or I don't want to say corrections, but improvements that they made to the system, and they add up, and for a good price, 100 or maybe even less, or maybe even a little bit more. I think it's a good deal. My personal issue with that is that I'm really hopeful that there's going to be a new Switch that is Animal Crossing themed sometime next March. And I mean, with the little portable that I play, meaning I mostly play docked mode, so it seems like a lot of these improvements are mostly for handheld. Not all of them, of course. It's better if your Switch is running cooler, regardless of how you run it, right?
Right.
But
Mm.
for portable improvements, it sure sounds like these are very nice. And I'd rather wait. Hopefully, there is an Animal Crossing one. I was talking to Yogi Bear from the Discord. We kind of both agreed that, unfortunately, I think the limited edition Switches are going to be mostly for the Switch Lite, because I think Nintendo's going to want to sell more of those.
So I got a question about that. What if, they released a Switch Lite with Animal Crossing theme, but it's like the best looking console handheld console you'll ever seen in
It's
your
got a
life.
giant KK slider along the back,
Dude.
like just giving you the eyebrows. Just giving you that all-knowing KK slider look.
And I know you love KK Slider, and I also know your feelings about the Switch Lite. But I mean, would you make an exception, for this case?
Yes, I would buy two.
You'll buy two. Oh.
So how many? I mean, quick point of note, Sergio. How many KK slider amiibo do you have right now?
16, I think, last count.
Okay,
Whoa,
so
whoa.
pencil him in
That
for
is-
16 KK slider version Switches,
That-
one for each
that's
amiibo.
Nice.
Oh man.
It's
And
really
you can
nice.
have
Dang.
16 islands. He can be friends with himself, and it's great. It's great. Oh, please don't do that. I will send somebody to help you. No, I mean, I'm a little mixed on it, because we obviously have seen the special edition Switch Lite. So the Pokemon edition, which was announced like freaking day one that we knew about the Switch Lite. But we've also, in the meantime, seen some special edition regular Switches, which I'm mostly assuming are the version 2. I have no real idea, but we've seen the Disney Sum Festival, Amiibo Festival party,
Man.
whatever the crap that game is. That has
Disney related.
I'm sorry, the Disney Sum one. It has its own Switch. It's actually really cute. It's got like the home button is little Mickey
Aw.
ears and everything. It's cute, and we know about a Japan exclusive Dragon Quest special edition of the regular Switch. So I don't know. It's a toss up. I could see a special edition of either model at this point, which I don't know. I don't know what to predict more.
What about that? That awesome Captain Falcon special edition that I just made up. Just kidding. Oh no! I wish they had like an F-Zero special edition.
Well, to do
Joy-Cons.
that, you would need a F-Zero game.
Yeah, which obviously is gonna come, right? I mean, if
Maybe
I keep-
not. Maybe they just do like random. Here, have a Captain Falcon Switch. Here you go.
I feel like if we keep talking about this, episode after episode, it's bound to happen. No, said nobody. No, but it would be cool. I'm just imagining, like, I just thought about this like 10 minutes ago. Thinking about the Joy-Cons. I mean, there's so many skins and designs of it. Like, wouldn't it be awesome to have, like just like a Joy-Con look like a hovercraft, like the Blue Falcon, and then one of them could be like the Wild Goose or the Golden Fox, and then the other one that I feel ashamed of forgetting? The one with Samurai Goro.
The one you played, the one
one
that
I
like
played.
you mained, yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. The pink stingray, right? Is it the pink stingray? It, yeah, something with stingray. I'm sorry, F-Zero fans, but it's a stingray for sure. Okay, so it would be awesome if they have Joy-Cons that look like
It's
those
the
hovercraft
fire
machines.
stingray, but there you
The
go.
fire stingray.
It's
Okay,
close enough.
wow.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
You get
know,
you
I,
get at least 3/4 credit on that one.
well, when I think of pink, I think of hot pink. Hot pink fire. Not really the same thing. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. F-Zero themed Joy-Cons. Let's make it happen, Nintendo.
I suddenly realized how much I want a special edition Star Fox Switch.
That would be cool.
Oof.
Oh,
Man.
they could make that look so good. Like the back looks like the cockpit. Ooh. Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm gonna stop thinking about that now because that's too.
I want to say something though with the Joy-Cons. I am so miffed that they did not release the Pokemon Let's Go Joy-Cons by themselves. Now, I did see some on there was some on random websites for like $155 or whatever, but I'm like, come on, I'm not gonna do that. Like get out of here. But it would be nice to have them sold separately, and I would instantly buy them because I've been waiting for that for a long time. Oh gosh, would be cool. Why doesn't Nintendo do that? Why is this? I mean, I wish they could do
Dude,
that. Why, guys?
they're notorious for whatever reason of releasing like special editions of stuff and never doing it again. So like, there's there's 5,000 of these out in the wild. Have fun, and that's for a little while.
Right.
The NES Classic was that they were really short on that one, and they came out and flat out said, "Hey, look, we don't plan to make any more of these," and everybody got upset, and eventually they kind of went back on that. But yeah, for whatever reason, these special editions, they treat them as special editions. So typically, if you want one, get on a pre-order because it's not gonna. It generally doesn't swing back for you.
That's true. Although there is the other option of customizing the Joy-Cons yourselves. I mean, there's like different.
Yeah, take a Sharpie to it.
Well, okay.
Draw Eevee.
That would be great. But I was talking more about like companies like Controller Chaos, which I've heard for a very long time. They have said that they are the leading retailer of custom controllers for Xbox One and PS4, and they do Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons and Pro Controllers and Switches as well. They do marvelous designs. I totally forgot who mentioned this. It might have been Darkus. Actually, no, it was Darkus. Darkus, and then and Chai Tile. Shout out to Chai Tile and Darkus. They talked about this company that does these custom, these peripherals, the consoles, and they look so good. But man, they come for a pretty hefty price. But if you want something custom, I mean, you got to pay the money. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
It's there's no easy way. There's something about that's the thing. Like, how much are you willing to pay for something custom? I think that's always like the question. Because for me, like, I have like these ice blue Joy-Cons that did not break the bank. They were very affordable, very reasonable. Even getting the skins for like the Pro controllers. I totally forgot which one I got from which company, but the theme is like the journey, and it's like these little like these red blue mountains. They're like cascade into one another, and it looks so nice on the Pro controller. Y'all probably seen it on the Instagram. I posted about it a couple times. But yeah, I mean, talking about accessories and peripherals and just like the custom skins and all that, there's just so much to do on the Switch, man. And I'm rambling on obviously, but I can't wait for the purple and orange Joy-Cons though. I really want those really badly.
Yeah, we're on a journey in this conversation. For whatever reason, I'm always the guy that doesn't really customize my stuff. Like the dock looks just like the dock does, and the Joy-Cons, I don't put skins on anything.
No dock sock?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, that's a thing that I did not get into. Now, Sergio, do you have a dock sock?
Yes, KK's ladder.
Oh,
See,
that's right.
the brand is holding strong right here.
It
Okay.
is, yeah.
So
Yeah.
basic takeaways. Switch V2 is good. So, and I tried to end it with that in 5 seconds, but there you go. You guys, you guys want to jump into some listener mail?
Yeah. So with listener mail, we're gonna go through listener mail, and we're going to take a look at our questions, and each of us will do like a round robin style. We pick a question and we all answer it. And that's it. Sergio, you go first.
Sounds good. I'm starting with a question by Shellshock, and he asks, how would you guys feel if Scorpion or Sub-Zero were in Smash Brothers Ultimate? I think that would be a good thing mostly. I guess my only issue is the timing since the previous most recent Mortal Kombat game it's been out for a little while, but it did really well. It's still getting DLC and a lot of updates, and the Switch version was really on par with the others. Like it was really well done. You could tell that they worked on all versions at the same time. And the reason I think it would be good is because it would give Nintendo a little bit more of a little bit of a good image in terms of mature games
Hmm.
or mature fighting games, if you would. It would be a nice contrast, of course, to what's already in Smash. I think it would be nice, and of course, Mortal Kombat has been on since the Super Nintendo days, so it is related to Nintendo. I think it would be a nice kind of way to throw a little throwback to the origins of Mortal Kombat on the Nintendo systems.
So, Smash is famous for making characters really true to their source material. How do you do Scorpion and Sub-Zero without decapitating other Nintendo characters, which is not
Right.
going to happen? How do you do it? Like,
You
you
know,
have special smashalities or something. Like, what? I'm not
Oh
against
man.
this, and I'm not trying to sound against this. I'm just really curious how they would like we've dealt with mature content in Smash before. Hello, Bayonetta. We're talking about you. Uh, and we've dealt with rumors such as Doom Guy making it in, and Ryu from Ninja Gaiden, which are also sometimes incredibly bloody games, and those they're not exactly the most exciting characters for me, but I'm fine with it. We've got Banjo; it doesn't matter at this point. But yeah, for a Mortal Kombat character, if you can come up with a way to make them true to their source material without decapitating Mario, cool. I don't
I
know
have a
what that
solution.
looks like.
I have a solution.
Okay.
Now
Ooh.
this may be off the rails, like all my other conversations, but um, you know, I think you can censor it, but cover it with confetti. I just thought of it like instead of just
so
blood,
so
confetti.
he starts the motion, but then just yeah, party ball. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. I mean, it's totally like it does not fit the theme of these two OG characters from the original Mortal Kombat game, but I think that it would be very funny and it might turn off a lot of OG fans from Mortal Kombat, but hey, like you can't cater towards everybody. You gotta make a compromise somewhere. So, because if you use the blood and the gore and all of that, it's just not gonna be fitting. It's not gonna be a good fit. And
Now you
um,
could do something with so Sub-Zero, you might have some opportunity there because he's mostly just ice based.
right,
Yes.
yeah,
So there is some potential there. There's also some potential with Raiden, who is mostly
oh,
electricity based. Scorpion is where I get a little. As awesome as Get Over Here would be, okay. Kevin, you wanna go to the next question?
yeah, sure. So, this one's coming. I mean, I already mentioned on Discord. It's a fantastic question. So, it's by Llama Libre. Shout out to the Llama, the Libre. What would be your perfect tea time? Your favorite tea, conversation points, and bonus points for things that will kill the conversation. Now, I just want to give some context right here. This is straight out of Fire Emblem Three Houses. Okay, so if you don't know, this is when you interact as a professor, when you interact with your students and or faculty and other characters, you are able to have the option to have tea time, and depending on how well or crappy you do, that will super super duper increase your compatibility with that character, or just moderately increase your uh, your chemistry with that character. So both good all around. But yeah, let's start with Sergio. What would be your perfect tea time?
Oof, well, it's tough because my perfect tea time would actually have coffee and not tea.
See, that's the trick.
Great start.
And I think the conversation killer would be telling that to the other person. Hey, actually, this isn't tea. And it's over.
I need to stand up. That's pretty good. Yeah, oh, man, I didn't know. I know it's gonna happen.
So Sergio's got that impossible tea time.
Oh man,
And probably the worst part is that I haven't gotten to that point in Fire Emblem Three Houses yet.
Wow, really?
Nope, not yet.
Oh no, dude, you need to get on that. You got to go have tea with the students. I mean, come on, it's only natural.
Especially Petra. Or any other student. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not partial to her at all.
Oh no, right?
The number of times I have almost killed her, and I just my heart starts beating out of my chest because I'm like, no, I don't want. Yeah, it's not a small number. That's happened 3 or 4 times at this point. That most recently. Sidetracking a little bit. Most recently, she was staggered, so she couldn't move, surrounded by 5 units that could all do really high damage to her, including one that could hit her for 45 hit points with a 90% hit chance. And the square she was standing on was on fire, which would mean that she would take 6 or 7 hit points on her next turn after that, too.
Oof.
And she lived because... It was amazing. Anyways, so I got super lucky. I did record a video of an archer missing her with a 22% chance to kill her. Anyways,
whoa.
That was nerve-wracking. Anyways, so my perfect tea time is probably around 7 a.m. and we want to meet at the golf course and just start the 18 holes, see where you can get. That I think that would be my perfect tea time.
Question.
Yeah.
Does that person know have to know what golf is?
It would be preferable if they had heard of golf. Yes, that's
Yeah.
Otherwise you want to go play what? Yeah.
You might have to take them for a walk if they don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. Okay. 7 a.m. That's great. And what kind of tea?
Just the standard wooden ones. I like blue or red mostly. The yellow or green ones kind of blend in with the grass, so I try to avoid those. But yeah, blue or red wooden teas would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would kill the conversation?
We're just playing golf, right? I don't know. Dude, just go with it. What about you, Kevin? What's your perfect tea time? Are you a 6 a.m. or an 8 a.m. kind of guy?
You know what? I'm very specific. My perfect tea time is 6:32 in the morning. 6:32 in the morning. That's my perfect tea time.
Nice.
Now, what kind of tea? You know what? I gotta go with strawberry basil kombucha. It's so good. It is actually my favorite kombucha. Now, I don't want it to be ice cold though, because at 6:32 you want something a little warm, but it's okay. I'll have a lukewarm strawberry basil. Okay, not lukewarm. We'll just say between a cold to a lukewarm strawberry basil kombucha, and that's my perfect tea. Or it would be a Portland breakfast black tea, which is one of my favorites. I still have it. I'm gonna do another shameless plug. There's a awesome tea. There's a local tea chain here called Smith Tea Maker, and they have all these different kinds of teas. Portland breakfast is one of their strongest. It is amazing. it picks you up, it gets you going, it makes you want to do things. What kind of things? That's up to you. For me, I just get very active and
Nintendo Jump Podcast, sponsored by
Smith Teammaker. Yeah.
Also not true.
Also not true. Yeah.
Although potential sponsors listening to us right now, this is the kind of service we could give you. I mean, just hit us up. Give us some stuff and money, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's all good because
with this quality content right here.
Because I love advertising for other things. No, but yeah. So strawberry basil kombucha at 6:32 in the morning, lukewarm to cold temperature. Conversation points. It could be about video games, shoes, basketball, tennis, a little bit of soccer, and or different kinds of T-shirts with different designs. I would be
T-shirts. I see what you did there.
That's right.
What do you wear to tea time?
When it comes down to the tea, you gotta do your thing. And then, what will kill the conversation? What is kombucha? Oh man. Well, I don't want to say. Maybe that might be too harsh because I didn't even know what kombucha was until I got to where I am right now. So yeah, okay. What would kill the conversation? I'll tell you what. It would be
Pokemon Sun and Moon.
It would be Pokemon Sun. It would be like, wow, this game is really good. And if you were to say durian is delicious, that would kill the conversation. Because for those who do not know, I abhor durian. I do not like it. I hate it. Yes, I said that word, hate. I hate durian. I think it's disgusting, and it's a love and hate. I know people are gonna be like, "Hey, Kevin, you're saying quite a lot here." I'm like, I am.
People care that much. It's a food preference. If you have a problem with somebody else's food preference, man, I don't know what to say.
You'd be surprised. I've gotten some comments about durian. I'm just saying facts, though. I don't like durian. Excuse me. I hate durian. Now, why am I going off tangents? Durian they call it the king of fruits.
Okay,
but,
all right.
But that would kill the conversation. I don't like durian, so we'll just say that. Okay, next question.
Okay.
Sorry.
What? I don't know how to follow that. So I'm just gonna do the easiest segue as I can. Also from Llama, what is a long-term series you'd like to have injects DNA of a different genre for, like how Star Fox became an adventure game for Star Fox Adventures, or Mario has been in a bunch of different genres. So which current series would you like to try a different genre on? For me, it'd be Splatoon. It would absolutely be Splatoon at this point because I think we are a little bit away from Splatoon 3. I don't know that I would expect it on Switch, to put it plainly. But I do really like the world and the characters and such, so I would love to see them do something else with that group of characters. In particular, I think you could actually pull off a rather nice extreme sports game of some sort with the Splatoon characters. I think it would work. It would fit the attitude. It would be fun, and you could do something cool with it. So, yeah, something in the realm of like an NBA Street or a snowboarding game, or any version of roller skates. Anything. I think you could have a lot of fun with that that group of characters, that setting, but a different gameplay mechanic.
That's a great choice. I mean, man, I don't know how to top that, but I'll wait for my answer. Sergio, you go.
Here comes the bus. Burr, burr.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, this is tough. I mean, I know what series I want to shake up big time.
Animal
Hopefully-
Crossing. It needs to be
no.
a party game centered around Amiibo.
Oh, goodness, no, not that again. I want Smash Brothers to change. I think it needs it. Hopefully, you're not too upset, Darrel, but
No, I'm not.
it's getting a little too samey. I don't know how to change it though. Let's say it would have to be something very specific. Like if we put Mario Party in this, it's probably gonna make it worse.
As it usually does. Yep, check.
So what would be something? I just wanted to have a little more single player, long lasting value, but like something that you actually wanna do. Man, that's just kind of mean. So I guess in a way, I kind of want the Subspace Emissary to come back and to have like a really good story. Okay, I just got it. Final Fantasy.
Oh, you have my
Give it a
attention.
Final Fantasy story with all of the Nintendo characters and kill like 5 of them.
So
Here we go again.
So it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts, but with Mario.
Yeah, but fun and good.
Ooh. Oh man. Just as you're listening to this podcast,
This is
people
this is a
please
lot of stuff
understand
here.
that each of the hosts has their own opinions and their own way of thinking, and do not lump us all together, please, and send all listener mail, positive and negative, to NintendoJumpPodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, I just want to say something real quick. I'm really sorry for those who I've offended about Durian. If you love Durian, great. If you don't, good job.
Yeah, you've really upset the durian salesman from Breath of the Wild. He's really pissed now.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I saw it, I was like, wow, why is this in the game? I was like, man, this is like a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing here?
This game is a mistake. That's why you
It's
never
like-
finished it.
That's Breath of the Wild, great game, but minor things has Durian in it. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, 9 out of 10. Too much durian. Okay.
Too much Durian. Okay,
so-
okay.
Back in something like high school, my friends and I used to kind of joke and speculate about what like Super Smash RPG would look like. Just as you go to the different worlds, and kind of at the time, kind of the Super Mario RPG style, where you just meet up with different characters and go to different worlds and universes and such. Now we actually have a really nice model for it, which is kind of the Kingdom Hearts gameplay. I'm still kind of interested what they could do with that, as that being your pick. Like, take the Smash Brothers idea, at least, of all of these Nintendo characters doing something, and apply that to the different series that they have, the Party series and the Kart series, and make an RPG around it. I think it would be cool. I really do. I think you could do a lot with anything you threw them at, to be honest. I'm not talking again. You guys can,
sorry.
you guys can just figure it out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a lot that I'm thinking about right now with this question. I'm totally sorry to.
And now, bringing you into Kevin's mind thoughts. I hate durian. 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 And this has been Kevin's mind thoughts.
No, don't. I don't want to make it a big deal, even though I already have. But
okay, so Kevin, what series would you like to inject into a new genre?
You know what, man? I have a fabulous answer for this one. I don't know how I can top both of y'all's, but I'm okay. So imagine this, okay? You have a Mario game, okay? And all of a sudden, they have this sort of Ocean's 11 heist theme sort of.
Oh my
adventure.
god!
Okay,
no.
hold on. No. I'm not done yet. Now, they have to steal the most valuable
Oh my
treasure
god!
in the world, and it's a quality gold. It's a basketball made of gold. Okay, it is the most expensive thing ever. This is all made up. And then
Oh really?
they yeah, and they try to steal it. They try to steal it, right? They steal it from, like, let's say the South Pole. Okay, they steal it from the South Pole. Why is it there? I don't know. They go into the coldest of depths, and they meet these like, they meet like the Yeti, the polar bears, and then they said,
Oh.
hey, you you want to steal this, you gotta play us a game of basketball. Okay, not basketball, basketball. And then they play a game, like an NBA regulation theme game, and then if they win, if the Mario characters win, they can steal the basketball. But then there's another challenge where they have to escape.
Is it stealing if you win a competition for it? At that point, isn't it just a prize?
So you see how constructed my story is. Okay, so they lose. Okay, they lose those competition, and then but they still steal it. They steal it anyway, and then they escape. they steal it. They come
so
back.
which genre would you say that this is, Kevin?
This
this genre that you want this series to
This is gonna be it's gonna be it's a BT. It's a basketball thieving game.
That's
genre.
not a thing.
It's not a thing. Okay, fine. It's a heist. It's a heist genre with basketball elements. That's what I want. You guys are thinking, wow, this guy's really crazy. You're right. And that's what I want. And I know it sounds really crazy, but it's different. It's a blue ocean model, and it's never been done before.
No.
Okay, I'll be real though. I'll be real.
These things don't go together, man.
Okay, fine. I'll give you a real answer. I still want a thief heist game with Mario. That's it. Like I just want something where Mario becomes a good thief, okay? And goes on an adventure with his buddies, like, Luigi.
Technically, that's the plot of every Mario Brothers game. He's just stealing Peach.
Well, not in that way. There's gotta be some like jazz music and like casinos and like prizes.
So,
and, like,
Super Mario 3D World.
Is that really?
It's got jazz music and casinos, yeah.
But are they stealing like the greatest treasure in the world? A gold-plated
saving
gold
Prixies,
basketball.
so I mean, yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, is there a point where Mario is about to like pass away, but he doesn't, and he comes alive strong? I mean,
Depends who's playing.
So there you have it.
This
That's
works
my
so
answer.
well. I can't believe it. All right. I think the only thing good here for my sanity is, Sergio, can you move on with another question?
Yes, please. Let's go.
Let's go. All right.
We
next one.
have a question by Shy Guy. And Shy Guy asks, what are your predictions for the future of indies? Do price structures remain relatively the same over time? Or as indies gain more recognition for their quality, do you think their prices will slowly rise over time? So I think they're gonna merge. I think, we have the AAA games on one hand, $60 or more, and then you have the indies that can be anywhere from $5 to $20, $25, maybe even $30. And I think it depends a lot on the quality, because some of the indie games, man, they're starting to really get up there in terms of game value, game content, and how much of their heart and soul they put into their games. And you can tell by the end result, by the game that we love and play. So I think the indie prices are still gonna differ a little bit like that, because there's still gonna be short games that everyone is okay with paying a little bit because we know what we're getting into. But I think their quality and the prices are gonna be getting more and more in line with the higher prices of quote unquote AAA games. And on the other hand, because of that, the AAA games are gonna have to maybe lower down to 50 or so, and we kind of see that sometimes already. So I think the prices are kind of gonna compress a little bit, but I think the indies it's better for the indies in the long run.
Yeah, and those are some good points because I do wish that AAA games can go down to 50 for real, but for some reason it's always at 60, and it seems like the standard. I think for me, I've seen indies on average $10 to $20 a pop. I think $15 is a sweet spot. And as indies do gain more recognition for their quality, I can see the price slowly rising over time, but not by much. I think at most 20, 25. Now that also depends on how long the indie is. Like you look at Celeste, I mean that game, you you have to realize that you can put so many hours into Celeste, and it's like what $20, right? Or 15? Like
Yeah, it's
that is
20.
it's 20, and when I see that, I'm like, wow, that is one of the best $20 games, if not the best $20 game I've ever purchased in my life.
Yeah, it would be mine. Yeah.
I know it's yours. Yeah, I mean, it's got the story. The difficulty is very fair. It's hard but fair, and it teaches you about life. You know what I'm saying? Like you have those life lessons about going up a mountain and conquering your inner demons. And you have and by the way, you have very good music. I mean, come on, like let's talk about the hotel remix. It's very jazzy. It's I was gonna say delicious, but that doesn't make sense. It's very nice, and it's really good. You have good music, and it was what nominated. It won the best indie of the year, right? Like, how can you can't argue against that. Those games make the indie, scene very proud, and I but I do hope that I hope that the indies will never go like $50, $60. Like I think that's way too much. But who are we to say what the price of games should be? But in the very end, it would be preferable for them to be no more than 25 or 30. I think that's like even on average. So that's my take.
So I kind of disagree, and
Mm.
don't get me wrong, I like the current pricing of games, so I'm not advocating for this, but I remember buying Nintendo 64 games for $50. And I mean, at this point, you're talking 20 years ago, and
Oh
this,
gosh.
for whatever reason it has been, this industry doesn't go through the inflation that other industries go through. Like, I just noticed that Blu-ray movies, when they come out, have moved up from $20 to $25, just kind of all of a sudden, right? And various other things are always kind of steadily increasing in price, but games really not for the last couple decades. Don't know why that is. I really can't figure that one out. Might just be this is what they think the demographic is. It might be the competition driving the prices down. I don't know. But I do expect that over time the prices will slowly creep up overall, but the relative ratios will stay around the same. I think that indie games right now simply do better if they are under $20. Their sales are better when an indie comes out that's $25. And keep in mind, I'm talking a $5 difference, which is the price of a McDonald's meal. Like a $5 difference will lead to significantly reduced sales for that game, or people just not doing these impulse purchases, right? On the flip side, a game like Hollow Knight or Stardew Valley comes out at 15, and everybody goes, oh, well, yeah, that's absolutely click, buy, that's it. So I think that structure will stay, just because I think it is positively reinforced that these prices lead to more game sales. But I do kind of expect over time, maybe not in a single generation, but maybe next generation, everything jumps up $5-10, something like that. And you have indies coming in at $20-30 and retail games coming in at 60-70 in that realm. It's got to happen at some point, in my opinion. And like I said, not advocating for it, don't want it, but I just kind of see it happening. But I do think that indies feel the need to separate themselves from the AAAs by offering a lower price. And I think that they, by doing that, become really successful. So I don't see that changing drastically anytime soon. What I could see a little bit more is more games kind of offering additional stuff you can do or buy, such as Rocket League, right? So Rocket League gets in the door at $20, and then you gives you a bunch of stuff that doesn't really impact anything, but you can buy it. I see a lot of things kind of going that way, maybe, but yeah, I think overall for the near future, I think everything's gonna mostly stay around where it is, which is not a bad thing. I think we're actually kind of in a healthy little range here. It's okay.
And I just by what you're saying, it made me think of a reason why indie games have stayed around the same price. And I think and let's here's what I'm going to say. I think that indies have been like that because maybe a lot of the smaller companies that make these indie games, they feel this apprehension of like, you know, they question whether a lot of people who game, like whether they think that their game might be worth it or not. If there's something that they are not sure of, they don't know, because a lot of indie games, you know, they're different genres, you know, they're experimental, you know, they do new things, and they're thinking, well, if it's a new thing, maybe people are not willing to jump in at $60. Maybe they're willing to, like you said, you know, open the door for 15. And so you get those games like Rocket League. Like, okay, well, I'm not spending $60, but I'll spend $15 to check this out, see what it's all about. And when they spend the $15, like, wow, like if they really like it, then they say, oh, this is worth it, way worth the price of steal. If they don't like it, like, oh, well, you know, I only spent $15, so it's all good, you know. And I think that maybe is their point, is like they want to have a gateway price for people who may not know a lot of these genres, these games, and I think it's a great strategy. And so I think that's why that sort of pricing has stayed the way it has for a while. I mean, it makes sense. Rocket League, $20, you know, gets you. I mean, it's a very reasonable price for a game because not a lot of people are willing to shell out $60 a game unless they know what it's all about. Does that make sense?
And to be fair, Rocket League is probably my third or fourth most played game on Switch, or if not second most played game on Switch, and it, you know, sent me back $20 at the start. Now I have bought some, you know, in-game stuff just because I wanted to, and I kind of felt bad for only paying $20. I'm doing the Sergio model here of being like, nah, you deserve a little bit more. But anyways, yeah, I think it works, and I think it'll continue working for the meantime. Just, you know, if and when things go up in price a little bit, just realize that's, you know, it's inconvenient. It's not great, but that's just kind of how life works. Like, you know, everything's a little more expensive now than it was 10, 20 years ago. So, but not really games. So interesting. So Kevin, you want to take another question?
The next question that I would like to ask is by Shy Guy. Gaming is inherently unhealthy for the body. Sitting still, especially for long periods of time, is tough. Do you all take conscientious steps to combat this while gaming? For example, while single player gaming, I take a break and walk at least 1,000 steps every hour. That is very good. Man, 1,000 steps, like how many minutes is that? Like, I mean,
yeah, that's a lot.
That's like, yeah, wait. Huh. Sergio, what's your strategy?
None. No, well, I don't, but it's surprising when I play more than an hour straight. I usually end up having or wanting to take a break, and I do get up and do something else. But other than that, not much. But this is a good reminder, and I do agree it is important.
It is, and I could definitely do better about it. So in my life right now, at work, I move around a lot. I have a roughly 500,000 square foot factory that I work in, and walk around it all day. So
Whoa.
When I get home, I don't really want to move that much, which I know makes me sound like the sluggiest slug of all time, but that's just kind of how I am. So if I do get in a gaming session a little bit longer, yeah, I'm not taking conscientious. I'll take like stretch breaks, but I'm not like, you know, getting up and going outside and and being a healthy person. But it is something that I do want to focus more on going forward, along with a diet a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's commendable, and I like hearing that you definitely do, and I like to kind of remind people, you know, that little reminder that Nintendo started adding to its games, like, hey, take breaks every 15 minutes or something, you know, every hour, take a 5-10 minute break. Not a bad idea, to be honest, because yeah, we as gamers, we often get into fairly awkward postures. You really got to watch what your wrists are when you're holding controllers and going. I've known quite a few smashers actually get kind of benched by carpal tunnel, to be honest, and things like that. So it's very good advice to just at least at minimum, like I'm not saying you have to get up and take 1,000 steps. It's great, but I'm not saying that that's necessary, but it is necessary to get up, adjust your posture, stretch a little bit, and just be aware of how you're sitting, how you're holding a controller, and going forward. Just because it's, there are significant health risks to bad postures and repeated stress of wrists and thumbs and such. So, don't ignore that because it will bite you.
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, even like you need to be able to stretch and do some sort of like very light exercise in general every day. And for Shy Guy, I mean, props to you, man. Like 1,000 steps every hour. I'm like, damn, that is very impressive. As I share the same sentiments with Darrel on that. For me, I have this thing. Okay, before I play video games or something, I either make sure I have some water or a cup of loose leaf, green tea or whatever, and then every 20 minutes or so, I get up from my seat and refill with my cup with some hot water, because as many people may not know, with loose leaf green tea, I don't use a filter. I just put the leaves in the cup, pour some hot water, and let the leaves expand and drink it and not eat the leaves. And you're probably asking, how do you do that? Experience. When you have enough practice, you're able to not eat the leaves while you're drinking from the cup. And I do that every 20, 30 minutes if I'm drinking green tea. Other than that, I don't really do well with like taking conscientious steps to combat the inherent nature of gaming for long hours. Especially with Fire Emblem, man, I can play 4 hours in one go, and that is extremely bad. I did that one time. I kind of regret it, but I think it's important to have some sort of beverage, to to make you like go get out of your seat and refill with hot water. I think it's a good thing. Taking 1,000 steps every hour, that is, I don't know how I can do that. Like between gaming, that's really good.
That's a lot of trips for hot water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I could do that. But yeah. So, and then there'll be times where I would do stretches, like even at work. Like I like to stretch my legs a little bit. Stretch my triceps. This is one exercise I really like to do. It's called the pigeon. I don't know if you've heard of it, but like I can't describe it. But you're stretching your I believe it's your hamstrings in a very peculiar way. It may look kind of weird, but it's a very good exercise, and it helps you just get some blood flowing in a very downright position. Look it up, the pigeon. I learned it from working out this year. So I would do the pigeon at certain points in between gaming. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right, and I think I'm probably gonna wrap it with this one. So I'm gonna try to pick a good question here. I mean, they're all good, but let me.
Yeah. I still can't get over the golf thing.
You guys are all awesome. Okay, so this will be fun. Big Shot writes in, with all of the Smash DLC hype, which is still going on, I thought this could be a fun challenge. What if each host came up with the most off-the-wall / unexpected newcomer, but was able to come up with a viable moveset to make it seem plausible? It could be fun to see what you guys come up with, or how you can justify a moveset. All right, so off-the-wall Smash character... I don't have anything. Kevin, I'm gonna put you on the spot. What you got?
But I do have a question though. Does it have to be a branded character? Like, do everyone have to know what that thing is? Like,
I don't know what that's referencing. It does have to be a character of some sort. There. What do you mean?
Well, I was thinking. Okay. This is one of my favorite things of all time. Jumbo Cactuar from Final Fantasy. It's a Guardian Force or an Aeon or whatever, what have you. I can imagine just like, this moving cactus. Well, it's not really moving its arms, but it moves. Okay, now it does. There's different attacks it can do. It can do like, 50 needles. Okay, but when you shoot the needles, it does like a poison thing, right? Kind of like what Pikmin does. And then like maybe its up smash would be, light will just glisten out of its body, and then, excuse me, it will glisten out of its body, and it will make this random noise. I forgot what noise they make. Maybe they don't make any noise, but it will just be like this. It'll be a glistening light up smash move where it just like wah, and then that sounds like Mario. Wah, and then like it could just woo, and then I wasn't finished with that, but I'm gonna skip that. So, and then like with the side B, it could be what would be a side B? It would just be like, just these fire needles coming out of its back, and then it would just like whoosh, and I don't know, man. Like it's I'm terrible with this, but I want this to work.
It was
but I'm
going
doing a terrible
so well.
I know it's going so well. I was trying to construct something, but I do want a cactuar. Okay, not a cactus, a cactuar from Final Fantasy series, just to be in the game. I think it would work somehow. I don't know how, but because there has never been a Final Fantasy Guardian Force or Aeon or what have you, that sort of spiel. As there has never been a character of that nature in a Super Smash game before. I think this would break the mold. It is the most derpy, trolly character that you can choose. I mean, it doesn't move its arms or legs, but it moves. Okay, it still moves. Or okay, excuse me. It does move its arms and legs, but it's like the animation is like very choppy. You know what I mean? Like, how cool is that? Like, that's an awesome character. Like, bring him in. Bring the Cactuar in. Done.
Nice.
Mhm.
Well, in the past, we sort of imagined what a Rocket League car could do in
Yes.
Smash
Yeah.
Brothers, and that was pretty awesome.
That's probably the best answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that would be for sure.
I agree.
But to discuss potential something different, how about a Tetrimino and just all of them
Ooh.
sort of together? They could kind of change, and then just to go all out, all the different moves could be from different Tetris games: Tetris Attack, the Tetris Effect. I guess the final smash would be something with Tetris 99 and everyone attacks you at once. So
Mhm.
just every Tetris game, like, some of them could look like Game Boy Tetris type of thing. So basically Tetris would be the character.
I mean, I like it.
That would be great, and that is a more of a well constructed answer than mine. So I would vouch for that one.
Okay, I have two, and neither of which seem to fit the current model that they're going with their DLC. So these are not third-party characters from studios that are not represented in Smash or anything. So probably not at all going to happen, but I would love to play these characters and just see what they could do. First of all, and kind of the lesser one, is it would be interesting to me to see Captain N, the game master from the
Yes!
cartoon that
Oh.
also
Oh.
featured Pit and Simon and Mega Man and a Game Boy. I mean, you could also just have a Game Boy playable character. That'd be pretty cool too.
Oh.
But yes, so Captain N, who has never, to my knowledge, I don't think he's ever actually been in a video game, so it kind of violates the Smash rules, which I guess we kind of like doing now. So moveset writes itself. I mean, he could call on his friends to help. He could have power glove functionality. He could do a number of different things, pretty much whatever you wanted. His final smash could be summoning Mother Brain for all we know. It doesn't matter. That show went places. He has a Pac-Man-esque neutral B that he calls in help from other characters like King Hippo. It's all there. That's in the show. So yeah, that's my first one. Captain N, the Game Master in Smash. Sign me up.
By the way, his name is Kevin.
That's very accurate. Yes.
Kevin Kane. Shout out to Kevin's out there. Just had to say that. So, okay.
So my second one, and the one I actually envision as having, we don't need a character from this series, but the moveset that you could put together for this character would be hilarious, and that is our good friend Chargin' Chuck from the Mario series, who would be phenomenal. He's got footballs and baseballs, and he's got a helmet, and he runs at you, and he can jump. He could do a ground pound. He's a heavy character, but he could have projectiles everywhere, including footballs that bounce at you. It would be hilarious. I mean, tell me you're not picturing that character right now and trying to fight that character a heavy with a projectile trap game. Yep, let's do that.
I feel good about this, but it makes me wish that there is a Koopa that has basketball gear. I don't know. I mean, but Charging Chuck is really awesome though, man. Gosh, I want to have an amiibo. Is there an amiibo for Charging Chuck?
No,
Yeah.
of course not. But there would be, and that would be another benefit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
I would be all aboard the Chuck hype train. I really would.
Man, another great answer. Charging Chuck. I almost forgot about that critter. Man, cool.
Okay, so yeah, that was fun. Thanks for all the questions. We did not get into as many as we maybe should have, but that just means that we have more for next time as well. So please do keep sending in your questions, and we will do more of these or just throw them on the end of regular episodes as we can. So that's awesome. For now, I'm going to hand it over to Sergio for our Fire Emblem update.
Ooh.
Well, I was really hoping it wouldn't happen, but yes, it did happen. I lost a unit about 2 weeks ago.
Oh no!
I got a little bit careless, and there was a thief of all things, Kevin.
Not
He
a
was too
gentleman
fast.
thief.
No, definitely not. He was too fast, and he attacked twice. And I was using a net to try to protect Sylvain, who was really, really hurt. And I wish I hadn't, because Annette ended up giving her life for Sylvain.
Oh no!
And
Rest in peace.
it was terrible. She if she had 2 more HP, she could have survived, but I guess 2 wasn't just enough. And I don't know. I didn't like Sylvain, but after watching some of his support conversations, just the early ones, he has a heart. I can tell. So
Just one.
I mean, preferably.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
So and I'm really hopeful that that's it. That I don't lose anyone else. I changed my Switch username to for Annette, and I do want to see the story through in her honor. So.
As somebody who's a little farther along in the story than you, actually a lot farther at this point, I'm just gonna say, oh, just wait.
Oh man.
So for me, this game has not been the massacre that I thought it might be, which is good. That's not bad. I'm not complaining about this. But what it has meant, so I've lost 2 characters, and I've almost lost Petra about 3 or 4 times past that, but I haven't yet. She's still kicking.
Okay, good.
But I did, so early on, I think I talked about this. I lost Ash, poor guy, who, oddly enough, I lost him in his student phase, and he still started hanging around the monastery, which is kind of awkward because he's just not usable, but he still talks. It's weird.
Yes.
And you can't even give him his items that he lost. So like I've just got stuff that he lost in my inventory, and I can't do anything with them. I'm like, huh.
Oh no.
So I always just, my headcanon was he's the ghost there, just like haunting me for past mistakes. But for realsies, later in the game, when you actually can have characters like literally die, yeah, poor Ignatz. Ignatz
Oh,
bit the bullet.
rest in
And
peace, Ignatz.
that one was not fun. So that one was both of my characters that I've lost on paralog missions, which are not even critical to the story, which hurts even a little bit more. And I lost him. I lost Ignatz because I moved another character too far, and all of a sudden, a bunch of enemy supports showed up. And enemy supports showed up after most of my characters had moved and were able to move on the next turn, which I did not know was a thing in this game. It hadn't happened until that point, and it did then, and he was the straggler in the back because ironically, I was trying to protect him and level him up, and
Oh no.
Oh no. Dang.
Rest
That's
in
tough.
peace. So yeah,
Man.
those are my two right now. But what that does mean, so I'm near the end of the game. I'm hoping those are my only two. But what that does mean, since the game has been, a lot of people fault the game for being too easy. If you play like we're playing, the game is not too easy. I actually think
Right.
it's balanced
No,
pretty
it's
well
not at
because
all.
it has been tense at times if you know you're going to lose these characters. So, but what this means is my next playthrough, which there will be a next playthrough, it will be Blue Lions, and I will be going hard. Hard difficulty, and I am very scared. So
Oh man.
I'll keep
Yeah,
you
it's gonna
posted.
be.
Okay, Kevin, your turn.
Wow. Yeah, so, so I didn't lose anybody. I'm kidding. No, I didn't lose somebody. So like Darrel, I didn't lose the myth, the legend, Hilda, the eldest daughter of House Goneril, of the Lesser Alliance. I lost her in a paralog battle. I thought she was she was really good. Oh, she was. Okay, so she was my armor knight. I took her to it was the one where it was the paralog mission. I'm not gonna spoil it. Okay, so it was a paralog mission that I took her to this one area with this one enemy that was standing on this platform that I didn't know what it was until later on. And I thought she can like 1v1 that person easy. But then I realized that that's a heal tile, and that magic user that was fighting with using Hilda healed herself. And I'm like, oh, so my character can actually die. Uh-oh. And by the time I realized that it was over, the character had a 70% chance to hit Hilda before her very last breath. And I was like, oh, bleep, 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 bleep. And she died. Rest in peace. She passed away. And I was like, man, why did I do that? Because I could have brought one of my Pegasus Knights. Or, excuse me, a Pegasus Knight. Now, that wasn't my choice. In that mission, I just happened to have a Pegasus Knight. You'll know what I'm talking about later. And I could have used that Pegasus Knight to help Hilda. I did not. My mistake. Life's over. No, well, just her life. And I didn't mean to sound so, ominous or.
Oh yeah, okay, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. No, but no, for real though, I was very sad. It was like, oh man, I want it to be a perfect cast of students, but this is real life. Not everything's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like you have it. There will be days in the missions that you face every day where you're gonna have that vulnerability. You're gonna face adversity. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And Hilda didn't work out through my mistakes, so she passed away. Rest in peace, Hilda. And even in the story mode, like just the scenes, I still see her in the the scenes, and it's kind of awkward. It's very awkward. Because,
well, yeah, because she's a bodyguard character, so she's important to the story, so she won't leave, but she'll be like hurt, so she can't fight with you. So yeah.
And you said that one word, important. And now I heard that several times with people in the Discord community how she's a very important character, and that sucked that she passed away. So
yep. So, and then just surveying our Discord, I don't want to go person by person. We'll do this later. Definitely fill us in the episode talkback because I haven't We haven't kept extremely good track of everyone, but yeah, there's a there's a lot of death. There's a lot of people really enjoying the Pact, is how I'll say it, I think. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh boy. Yeah.
one thing I will say is that this has significantly increased my enjoyment of this game, and I'm really
Yes.
glad we've done
Mhm.
it. And going forward
Absolutely.
for Fire Emblem games, I'll continue doing this because I really like it. So, and I don't even know why. I really like it. So, one I do want to comment on is kind of in the same shoes as you, Kevin, but in a different house. Dapper Dan Man lost Dedue, who is his bodyguard unit. So
Oh. Recipes to do. Yeah.
that hurts. And meanwhile, I'm Black Eagles, and I don't like Hubert, but I can't get rid of the guy. So, hey, what do I know? Anyways,
Right.
so
Well, that's all we have.
yeah, last thing for the episode,
Right.
guys, what is your favorite accent?
Sergio, go first.
Well, if I have to be completely honest, I do really like a just slight Italian accent.
Mm.
It just makes me want to do things.
Yes.
Oh.
I'll put that as a hashtag.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes you want to do things. Yeah, that's cool.
Kevin?
My favorite accent is Scottish. I like how heavy it can be, even though certain words from different levels of it can be incomprehensible. But it's nice to, hear it because some people, they like when they speak it, it's like they talk like a mountain. Like they have that like heavy, just it
Wow.
feels so majestic, right? Like a mountain. And just I don't know how I'm doing it, but
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but the more north you go, the thicker the accent is. The more interested I'm in because I'm always interested in how they enunciate certain words. Because when you say fishing, they say fashion, and or like controversies like controversy, and I don't even know how they do that. Like, but it's always very interesting to hear Scottish. My favorite Scottish person, well, actually, one of my favorite people I've never met in my life, Craig Ferguson, who hosted the Late Late Show, one of my favorite shows of all time. He has a very very reasonable, like easy to understand Scottish accent. He's always very entertaining. But that one and like just the more northern, like the thicker, like ooh, like just they have that oomph.
Oh.
Not oomph, not like oomph
oh
like
my
in Splatoon,
God.
like yeah. I mean that oomph. This is a lot more of an extended answer than you expected, but yeah, Scottish. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so shout out to Dr. Fact, who is not your favorite Scottish person.
Oh no! Oh, okay, wait, hold on. That's why I said one of my favorites. Dr. Fact is one of my favorite Scottish people I've never met.
But not your favorite, because Craig Ferguson, man, he's all
Well, I
over
didn't say he
that.
was my favorite. Well, okay, fine. I'm gonna put right now, on the record, Dr. Fact and Craig Ferguson, same level. Okay, that's all I gotta say. I'm sorry, same level.
Oh.
Shout out to Dr. Fact. Don't get mad at me.
Or do. It's more entertaining if you do.
Okay.
My favorite accent is actually Irish. So,
Ooh.
and again, kind of the same type things you said. I love the cadence of it. I love how Irish kind of infects the English language, and changes it for the better. It actually led to a lot of the culture in the eastern coast of the United States. So a lot of that kind of invaded, for lack of a better word. But I love, man. Just sign me up. Somebody from Ireland reading in any part of Ireland, to be honest, reading a book or something. Yep, I like it. So yep, that's my favorite.
Nice.
And as for our listeners, we did see one answer, and it is by Dragon, and he told us that his favorite accent is probably Australian.
Nice.
He really likes some of their phrases.
Nice.
That's another good one, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good one, yeah.
That's a classic.
And as for this week's question to our listeners, this is a little more relatable in a Nintendo podcast. What is your impossible sequel? A sequel to a game that you want a lot, but you just know that it's never going to happen. Basically,
Nice.
Kevin has F-Zero. What do you guys have?
Well played, sir. That
That-
was
Well,
well
I guess I
done.
don't have to answer anymore. because
Well
that's pretty
done. All right, let's just wrap it. Go ahead, sir.
Let's wrap. Save us or save me.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We are going to jump out of here. If you haven't already, feel free to join our Discord group. We have a link to it in our description for this episode, and it's basically a community of people that listen to this podcast, and you can chat with us or play games. We would love to have you there as well. Other than that, we have a Facebook group, and we are also on Twitter and on Instagram as Nintendo Jump. You can also listen to all of our episodes on YouTube as well. Please send us any feedback you have at NintendoJumpPodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, the best way to do so is through our Patreon. That's patreon.com/NintendoJump. And another way to support would be by leaving a review for the show in your favorite podcast application. Either way you choose, we would really appreciate it. This is Sergio, and on behalf of Darrel and Kevin, thanks for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Deuces. Later.